Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Let me say hi first to our friends in Koforidua listening on KT Radio. Welcome everyone to the bulletin this morning. Coming up, delays in supporting lenders through Financial Stability Fund putting local banks in danger. That's warning from banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene. Also coming up, Bank of Ghana discloses it has met all monetary targets needed to pass the country's first International Monetary Fund program next month. And Institute for Energy Security shoots down moves to increase the post margin, arguing the timing is not right. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. First up, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene has warned that delays in supporting banks through the Financial Stability Fund are stressing local banks. Now, he is of the view that the domestic debt exchange program stressed local banks, affecting their balance sheet. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Etuahene said the timing and delays do not augur well for Ghanaian banks seeking to get cheaper funding from external lenders.
So, in the insolvency or the capital negative of the banks are not helping them to be able to do the international trade aspect of the business. And it's very, very critical that we take a second look at it and let us operationalize it quick before we get to maybe the end of the year. Because before the end of the year, then the auditors are going to do the calculations again, and then it will possibly go down. So that is the reason why I believe they need to operationalize it. If whatever amount they have got, I'm told they have 500 and the World Bank in September is giving us 250. Immediately we should operationalize this and allocate it to the especially the domestic or the indigenous banks, those who have no access to the market. When I say market, those who can raise money on the stock exchange.
You heard banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene. Now, Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abredu-Otu, has disclosed that the central bank has met all the monetary targets needed to pass the first review under the IMF program. Ghana is expected to undergo its first assessment by next month before the second tranche of cash is disbursed by the IMF this year. Dr. Philip Abredu-Otu is Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana.
The key indicators in the monetary space is one of zero financing of the budget, which under the program is supposed to be kept zero. That has been largely respected. The other issue was to keep inflation close to around 42% for June, and that is where actually we are. We are within the inflation target band. And then the other one, which is the most important, under the program envisaged that we would draw down on our reserves.
Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abredu-Otu. Meanwhile, Ghana is expected to receive some $600 million from the IMF by November this year. That's if it's able to pass a review with comes to the fiscal and monetary targets set under the program. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has retweeted its commitment to achieving domestic revenue target of 144 billion cedis for this year. Speaking to Joy Business, Assistant Commissioner and Head of the Accra Regional Enforcement Unit at the GRA, Joseph Annan, said the authority will not relent in making sure it collects revenue through the VAT law. Now, he has been speaking at the test purchase exercise, which saw the arrest of managers of some hardware and general merchandise shops in the Weija Kaswa enclave.
Now, we are also going to go into our system to know whether when you declare, you pay. Because it's not just about test purchase. Test purchases will ensure that you issue the invoice when purchases are made. Then the next stage is for you to declare. Then when you have declared, we expect you to make payment. So we are going to go into our system and then fish out all those who are declaring and not paying, and even those who are not declaring. And then the appropriate action will be taken against them.
Assistant Commissioner of the GRA in charge of the Accra Regional Enforcement, Joseph Annan. Now, businessman and founder, former president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, said Ajay Ba is impressing on government the need to partner with private sector organizations to target funding to critical businesses. According to him, time has come for the government to look out for targeted entrepreneurs rather than just funding all forms of businesses. He was speaking at the August edition of the EB Connect series in Accra.
In this part of our world, we want the private sector to partner with government to provide investment fund. Any private sector is trying to come in with excess money, profits. But where the profits are not coming because of cost of doing business being high, it is difficult for private sector to collaborate with government. The main thing is that governments will find money and identify the private sector groups in conjunction to support this. We have good leadership to be able to know that these are our people who need help. In partnership with government, they come together and support. But somebody is sitting somewhere to disperse money to the north. We have Chamber of Commerce, we have AGI. These are recognized institutions with private sector people with vision.
Businessman and former president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Jay Barthe. Now, the executive director of the Institute for Energy Security, IES, Nana Nwesi VII, has shut down moves to increase the boss margin from its current 9 pesos per litre, arguing the timing is not right. His concern follows hence by Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh that the upward review of the boss margin in 2022 from 7 to 9 pesos per litre led to improved operational efficiency of BOST, hence an increase of the margin will be appropriate, but Nana Nwesi disagrees.
It must be tied to something, a project. And I've indicated already that you also must consider the timing that you want to do such an increase. For me, in future, I want to consider at a good time to place a levy for purpose of securing strategic fuel stock. Yes, of course, we can consider that. And we all know the purpose of strategic fuel stock. And if it can be handled well, then of course, such a stock will inure the benefit of consumers. And so the intent of the increase in margin must be clear, and also the timing must be looked at.
You had Executive Director of the Institute for Energy Security, Nana Nwesi VII. You're listening to the Joy Business Report. Now, critics of the fast fashion industry are alluding to a business that is encouraging overconsumption and waste with an adverse impact on the environment. The trillion-dollar industry is responsible for a percentage of the global negative environmental effects, including high levels of toxic chemicals and textile waste. Today on the Business Journal, Lab FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong speaks with academia and industry persons who say they are working to clean up the fashion industry and embrace circular economy principles. Take a listen.
In the last decade, the fashion industry has doubled production, generating massive waste in the process. Less than 1% of waste collected is used to make new clothing. Be in Style Clothing bends its pieces of textile waste. Sometimes the company gives them away to individuals who use the textile waste as cushion fillers. Kojo Alomenu is CEO.
These cutouts that are generated daily based on the workload, as you buy them, we have people who come to us to gather them for other purposes. Some use it for filling spaces like pillow bags, pillow sittings. They come for it for general fillings.
Others end up at landfill sites or get burnt. These trends are not only damaging the environment, they are limiting the opportunities for the fashion industry to succeed in the long term. Lecturer at the Fashion and Textiles Department, KNUST, Eunice Owusu-Entwi, says the industry already misses out on monetary value from clothing being worn less and barely recycled.
Sustainable in a sense that the design itself lasts. Has longevity. You can fall in love with a design for a really long time without discarding it. Secondly, the material that you are choosing to create that particular design or that particular fashion item or article should be one that can last.
Globally, clothing consumption is predicted to rise by 2030. But there is more fashion designers can do to reduce the carbon fashion